So I think that's a little bit better. Again, bear with me. We're trying to try this a little different today. I'm actually at work, but at work I normally teach an 11 o'clock class. And so I really wanted to come to everyone at work virtually. So I thought I'd go ahead and try it since I've thought I was pretty familiar with how to do it through Facebook. So I thought, well, I'll go ahead and do it that way and then plop it on YouTube. So I'm hoping that this is working. I don't see anybody chatting or on. I realized this was short notice, kind of decided at the last minute. I was kind of hoping I could have a little pop up to let me know that some of y'all are seeing this. Again, bear with me. So I just confirmed a few friends because I know people are adding some of their friends so that they can watch the classes. Is there any way somebody could just send me like a comment or chat to let me know that they can see me, that I am truly live? I'm doing this from my laptop at work, so it's a little bit different. I'm seeing a little bit different screen. So I just wanted to make sure. So if somebody could just send me a thumbs up or something to let me know that you're seeing this, that would be great. I know this was short notice, so maybe everybody else is working, although I was knowing that there was going to be a lot of people teleworking today and working from home, so kind of hoping that sweet, perfect. So it looks like, thank you, Tina, it looks like I am being seen, so that's awesome. So I'll go ahead and just start the class. Always remember that nothing should ever hurt. This yoga practice, as well as all yoga practices, that it's a way for you to learn about your body, what you can do and what you can't do, and being okay with both of those things. So remember, this is not the old mantra, no pain, no gain. We don't want to hurt. If you hurt here, you're going to hurt later. So go ahead and come to that comfortable spot, that spot where you can be still, where you can be quiet. And allow yourself just to settle. With all of the things that are going on in the world today, now more than ever, our mind can be so full and so overwhelmed. And so can our heart, especially if we have people on our heart that are dealing with this directly. So it's so important to take time to be still. Just be still. This is not a time to analyze or to judge or to even try to manipulate your thoughts or your feelings. This is a time to be the observer. Remember, when we listen, which is what we're doing now, we're starting to listen to ourselves. When we listen, whether it's to ourselves or others, we want to listen not to respond, but listen to learn. Listen to understand. Always remember, be slow to speak, slow to anger, but quick to listen. Take in your next deep breath and allow your face to climb skyward, stretching through the anterior portion of the throat. Breathe. Take in another deep breath, and as you breathe out, allow the chin to float down into the chest. Stretching through the left side of the neck here. Lift the chin up as if gazing over to the right of the room. And then allow your face to gently float over to the left, stretching through the right side of the neck. Breathe. Now let the chin drop down into the left collarbone. And let the chin start to just flow back and forth from right to left, that half moon sway. Maybe there is good for you. Maybe you want to come full circle. Bending, turning through the neck. Pulling away tightness, tension, fatigue. Moving one way several times and then the other. Breathing. The next time the chin rolls over the right collarbone, let it reside there. And then allow the chin to float down into the chest. Now stretching through the posterior portion of the neck. Lift the head up. Bring your hands to heart center. Maybe our intention that we set, not just for this class, but for the rest of the day, for the rest of the week, to be a good listener. To start to be that listener that's not thinking about how you want to respond. When we do that, we don't pay attention to the person we listen to. Instead, be right in the moment, truly giving them your attention. That's what all of us want, right? Just someone to truly listen and to not listen to respond, but to listen to understand, to listen to respect, to listen to appreciate. Take your next deep breath in, and as you breathe out, let go. Let go of all that stuff that you came to your room or wherever you may be. Let go of everything that you brought in with you so that you can just be free and light and enjoy your practice. Release your hands down into your lap. Just going to take a second here again to make sure that we're still doing okay. Again, this looks a little different than it normally does. Awesome. I see where people are responding. Say, I can see and hear you. So that's awesome. So, starting our practice, I want you to take your legs and bring them out in front of you. We're coming into Dandasana, staff pose. So staff pose is really just sitting upright. But if you do it right, it takes a little bit of work. Your core is tight. It's drawn back to the spine. And you're in a nice, tall position through the trunk. So you're pressing the sit bones firmly into the mat, but you're lifting from the navel on up, drawing the shoulders slightly back, flexing through the feet. Go ahead and wiggle through the toes. You know, we don't pay the feet enough attention. We put a lot of torture on them every day. So good to give them a little care. And then rotate through your ankles. Remember, motion is lotion. So we want to move that synovial fluid around the joints. Move one way several times and then the other. And breathe. Remember, the breath is an important part of your practice, and it's going to help you flow from one posture to the other. So please don't forget, don't hold your breath. Let it be a good and important part of your practice. Okay, now I want to take that right foot and I want to put it beside my left knee. And I can hug on to my knee or I can create resistance, pressing against the knee with the elbow. Bring the right arm up and over. Coming into Ardha Matsyendrasana, your half spinal twist. Now I kept my hips forward to protect that lumbar spine. I twisted from the upper thoracic spine, so from the rib cage up. And again, I can put a little pressure with that elbow to intensify the stretch here. I'm drawing that right shoulder back. The more of my hand that's on the floor, the deeper the stretch. So if I'm on my fingertips, not as deep of a stretch as if I'm on my whole hand. So you find the spot that's good for your body. And remember, That's what you're doing throughout this entire practice. You're listening to the body and understanding what's good for it. It will let you know. Don't push it to a point of pain or strain. So same thing on the opposite side now. I release my right leg back and my left knee or my left leg and foot comes beside my right knee. And again, I can hug on or I can create resistance. Left arm up and over, Ardha Matsyendrasana, your half spinal twist. On the left now. Flex through that right foot. Keep that right leg engaged. Your core is tight. Pressing into the sit bones, drawing the left shoulder back. Breathe. Nice. Now release through that posture and bring the feet together if you can, or close there too. Maybe hugging on to the feet. Allow the knees to float down to the floor. You're stretching through your adductors, your inner thighs here. And I'm pressing into the sit bones. Again, I'm lifting through the heart here, so I'm really using the core, drawing it back to the spine. This is a great stretch for those adductors. I can pull my chin down into my chest and stretch a little through the neck here as well. Cobbler pose or butterfly. Nice. And then release. Find your way to look like a table. Hands under shoulders, knees are under hips. So I'm leveling out through the back here. My core is tight. And I'm pushing into my hands that are directly underneath my shoulders. And you know, I've talked about this in many of my classes. This weight bearing is very unique to yoga, but very good for the body as long as it doesn't bother your wrist. If you have wrist issues and this bothers you, come to a fist. So you can always modify however you need to. Now I want to move that right knee in. I want to extend that left leg out. And it's as if I never lifted that leg at all. So I'm staying balanced. I'm not leaning to the right here. My head and neck is released of any pain or strain. So my core is tight. My leg is lengthening. I'm not drawing the body back. I'm keeping the shoulders right over top of the hands. If I can, I want to extend through my right arm, the opposite arm. I've come into tiger. And if that's too much, I can keep that arm down. If I'm working on balance, I can kickstand through my right toes. So you can always modify to help you. If you can, bring that right elbow to the left knee. So I come in a crunch, and I extend and lengthen, tiger. Again, crunch, extend and lengthen, tiger. A few more, crunch, and lengthen. Nice, one more, crunch, and lengthen. Now, if you want to challenge here, you can bring that right arm back. Bring that left leg forward into your awkward airplane. And back. Nice. Settle down. Assume your child's pose, Balasana. Child's pose. Arms in front of you, shoulder width apart. Press the sit bones towards the mat. So you're tilting through the pelvic area. You're lengthening through the arms and back. Child's pose, Balasana. So this is where you can come if you need rest. So if at any time during the practice you feel a little overworked or you just need to stop for a moment or two, this is your resting place. This is a place where we say we honor the body. So come here anytime you need to. You can be in your extended child's pose here with your arms out in front of you, or you can release the arms back to your heels in your full child's pose. Breathe. And then I come back to my extended child's pose, come back up into my tabletop. Now I move to the opposite side. So my left knee comes in a tad, and I extend and lengthen through the right leg. Remember, it's as if I never lifted it, so I don't want to be leaning to the left. I want to try to keep my hip bones focused to the floor and my weight even on both hands. Maybe now I can extend that opposite arm, my left arm, into my tiger. Again, if that's too much, set it back down. This is not a perfect practice, and we're not competing. Do what you can do. Leave the rest behind. Draw the left elbow to the right knee if you choose. Tightening through the core, it's a crunch. Extend. Lengthen. Coming back in, crunch. Maybe bring your breath into play here. Inhale, extend. Exhale, contract. Inhale, extend. Exhale, contract. One more. Inhale and extend. And maybe bringing that left arm back. Right leg forward into your awkward airplane. Breathe. And back. Ease into your child's pose. Balasana. Nice. Remember, you can come here anytime you need to. So coming from your child's pose is a perfect place to come into your downward facing dog. Lift your sit bones up, curl your toes under, push into the balls of your feet, and press your heels to the mat. Downward facing dog. You can always walk a step or two forward if that feels better. Remember, the weight's in your hands like you're pushing away the top of the mat. Your head and neck are relaxed. It's dangling in between your biceps. Go ahead and give it a little yes or no. Breathe. Downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. As I bring my hands back to my feet, I come into my forward fold, Uttanasana, and I'm allowing the chest to float down to the upper thigh. Uttanasana, forward fold. Now I can stay right here or I can challenge a bit. I want to shift my hands to the left and bring my right foot behind my left. Now, it's as if you're on a balance beam. So you should feel that in your legs a little bit more. Let your head and neck relax. If you can here, draw that back leg directly skyward. Doesn't matter how little or how much you lifted it up. Just come to your standing split. Lifting the right leg, pressing the chest to the upper thigh. Breathe. Now, maybe I stay there. Maybe I want to challenge even more. Bending through the back leg. Coming down just a tad with a bend in the knee. Knee on top of foot. And then extend back up. Again, bend. Come back and down so that you keep that knee on top of that foot. We don't want pressure in the kneecap. Extend. Lengthen. Once more. Bend. And extend. Nice. While you're here, you may want to come into your half moon. Left hand up and out to the left. Right hand to the hip. Bring that right leg parallel to the floor as you raise your right arm skyward. And last but not least, bringing your gaze to your right arm that's skyward. Half moon pose. And release. Marry your right foot to your left. Walk your hands back out into your downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Flow forward, a plank. Lift your king cobra. Ease down, baby cobra, Bhujang Asana. Push back up to your plank. Remember, you can always push up to this half plank if you want to be in half instead of full, or you're full. And lift. Down dog. Walk your hands back to your feet. Uttanasana, forward fold. Shift your hands to the right now. Again, maybe I'm staying here. My core is tight, my head is relaxed. I'm getting a great stretch in my hamstrings. Maybe I can bring that left foot directly behind the right. Pressing the chest to the upper thigh. Moving on, if you choose, lifting the left leg as high as you can. Remember, this is not a perfect practice, so just lift it as high as you can. Maybe staying here. Maybe challenging. Bend through that left knee now. Come down. Hover. Or you can always set those toes on the back and still keep tension in that right leg. And lift. Remember, when we hover, we use the core more. And we really build strength because you're working against body weight. So if I bring that back leg down and I hover, just want to make sure I keep the knee on top of the foot. And then come back up, really building the strength from the gluteus all the way down. One more time, bending, drawing back, hovering or setting the foot down. And lift. Standing, split. Your left leg marries your right. Come on back out to your downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Flow forward, a plank. Lift your King Cobra. From your King Cobra here, look to the left and the right. Chin to chest. Remember our intention. Are you listening to your body? Are you listening to learn, to appreciate, to respect, not to analyze, not to criticize? Curl through the toes, push to your plank, lift to your downward facing dog. Come forward with the feet, Uttanasana, forward fold. Your slow reverse swan dive brings you up. Hands to heart center. What do you hear? What thoughts, what feelings are you hearing? Are you listening to the body? Physically, mentally, and emotionally. Let's come to that flow, that nice vinyasa flow. A deep breath. Inhale up. Exhaling down. Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale your hands to your shins, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale the hands back down. Inhale your left foot back and your right, down dog. Exhaling, flow forward your plank. Inhaling, lift, King Cobra. Exhale to your plank. Inhaling, lift, down dog. Exhaling, softly walk the feet forward. Uttanasana, forward fold, your slow reverse swan dive, and your hands come to heart center. Nice. So we don't want to forget those squats. I know you guys, my NASA yoga buddies love these squats, so certainly don't want to forget them. Let's open up into a little wider squat today. So I want you to have your legs wider than hip width apart, but still, even still, when you bend into your squat, keep your 90-degree angle. So it's as if I'm almost wanting to fall backwards. I'm pushing the buttocks backwards. I'm pushing weight into my heel. My core is tight. Knee is right on top of my foot. And then I want to hold on to that ball. Press the buttocks down. Drop the ball to the floor as you lift the buttocks a tad. Then lift it back up. As you lift it up, try to lift your heart. Now come back. Set it down. Press the buttocks down. Lift up. Set it down. Lift it up. The more you lift the heart, the more you're going to feel those quads. Set it down. Press the buttocks back and down. Keep the knees over the feet. Lift it up. Can you bring the ball to the right? Set it down. A little deeper stretch here. Lift it up. Bring it to the left. Set it down. Lift it up. By now, you should be noticing your quads. Down and up. To the left, down and up. Let's see if we can add on. So we're going to bring that ball down to the right, press the buttocks down, then we're going to lift it up to the left, then to the left, and to the right. It's just going a little deeper, down and all the way up. Down and up. Down and up. Come back to center and hold. Now, if I need a little rest, I would put my hands into my knees and put some weight here. I'm pressing the buttocks back and down. I'm keeping my 90-degree angle. If I'm working harder, I'm hovering. Nice. Step together. Left foot and right. Uttanasana, chair pose. Bring the arms skyward. Chair pose. Come down. Push the buttocks behind you. You don't have to come all the way to the floor. You do what's good for you. Raise up. Again, down. Slow and control. Let's bring the breath in. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. A couple more. Keep pressing that buttocks back and down. Come as low as you can without causing any pain or strain. Exhale down. Nice. Lift the hands to heart center. Can you come to that piriformis squat? Start off lifting your left heel. Maybe the whole leg. Keeping the right knee bent, maybe you can come to that piriformis squat. Balancing, strengthening, focusing. A lot of balance there. Same thing on the opposite side. You should be noticing your quads. Lift up that right heel now. Maybe that's enough. You've shifted weight. You're hovering. You're working the core. Maybe you pick up that whole leg. Maybe you're able to open up to that piriformis squat. Maybe bringing the arms skyward, maybe not. And release. Nice. Ease on up here. Hands to heart center. What are you thinking about? What do you hear? Come to the top of the mat. A sun salutation. Bring the arms skyward. Swan dive down. Uttanasana. Forward fold. Bring your hands to your shins. Ardha Uttanasana. Press your hands back down. Forward fold. Your right knee comes into your chest. Your right leg extends behind you. Go ahead and set that right leg back down. Now first I want to get a good stretch in those hip flexors because maybe a lot of you are home teleworking right now and you're sitting a lot. So I want to make sure you keep those hip flexors lengthened and strong and flexible. When you're sitting a long period of time, you're contracting that, and that's not a good thing. You're impeding blood flow, you're impeding enzymes, you're impeding metabolism. So open that channel up, very important. So I'm pressing the hip flexor, the crease of my leg, I'm pressing that forward. As I'm doing that, I feel the gluteus squeeze and I push into that left foot. Now maybe this is good right here. Maybe I want to challenge, pushing into the left foot and coming up. Remember, it's not a pushing off of the hand, it's a pushing from the foot. Now as I come up, I feel the gluteus tighten even more. Now the hip flexor stretches even more, especially if I lift that right arm, the same arm that the leg is behind you. If I reach skyward with that, then I feel that nice long stretch in that hip flexor on the right. So remember, when you're in a lunge, standing or on your knee like this, when you have that leg behind you, raise the same arm skyward. That's going to help you stretch that psoas, that hip flexor. Maybe I come up and over, a deeper stretch here, moving up into the oblique, alongside the abdomen. Remember, your practice, your choice. And release. Easing back down to my lunge. I marry my left foot to my right. Downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Go ahead and walk your dog if you choose. Bend one knee and then the other. Really lengthen through one leg as you bend through one knee and maybe even roll that foot so the top of the foot makes contact with the mat. Such a great chance to really stretch the foot. Flow forward to a plank. Now I can set my left knee down and let my left foot jet out. My left hand comes in and I've assumed my half side plank. I'm extending the right leg out, lifting the right arm skyward. My left arm is directly underneath my left shoulder. If I want to challenge, I want to lift that right leg up to hover. Remember, hovering always more challenging. If I want to challenge even more, grab onto that ankle, pull that foot in, but at the same time, push that foot away. Stretching through that quadricep, opening up through the chest. A side bow here. Such a great stretch in the arm and the leg. Maybe I stay here. Maybe I challenge even more. Set that right leg down, lift up the left, and extend out into my full side plank. Always making sure joint on top of joint. Very important. You never want to compromise your joints. Release to your plank. Lift to your down dog stretch. Same thing on the opposite side now. So I come to my plank and I set my right knee down. I let my right foot flare out behind me. I make sure my right hand is directly underneath my shoulder as I lift through my left. And then I can challenge by lifting the left leg up. My head and neck is relaxed, so always remember, pay attention to tension. You want tension in certain places, right? I want tension in my right arm. I put a lot of weight there. I'm building strength. I'm building muscle. And I want tension in that right leg, but I don't need it in my head or neck where I'll feel it later. Maybe I grab onto that back leg, creating a little resistance. Pull in, push out at the same time. Breathe. And release. Remember, I can stay right here, or I can always challenge. Left arm down, right arm up, my full side plank. And I can always challenge here if I wish by lifting that leg to balance. That's even more of a challenge. So you do what you need to do. Release. Left arm down, lift. Downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Flow forward, plank. Lift, King Cobra. Ease down, Baby Cobra. Bujang Asana. Maybe here in my Baby Cobra, I'm able to extend my arms out. I'm really working the core here, really strengthening the back. There is no need to stress my head or neck. So I'm looking down at the floor. I'm lifting with my heart to the comfort of my back. If I want to challenge even more, I extend the legs out. I'm in my Superman. Breathe. Motion is lotion. A great chance to rotate through your ankles and wrists. Draw back in. Elbows in, hugging the body. Little to no weight in my hands. Head and neck relaxed. I push into the hands, come to my plank. I lift to my down dog. Now my right leg climbs skyward. My right knee comes in. My right foot lifts up and places, not swings. Lift up, place. Then grab on, find your 90 degrees. Set the back leg down. Come to your lunge with your back leg down, because I want you to really stretch this hip flexor. Remember, press the crease of the leg forward. Now, I want you to have double duty here, because get the most benefit that you can. So I'm stretching my hip flexor. I'm pressing the crease of the leg forward. I'm squeezing through the gluteus, so keep that contraction there. But you're stretching through the hip flexor. But all the while, I'm putting weight into my right foot, because I want tension in that leg. My core is tight. And then I pick up my hands to remind me not to push off the floor if I can, and I come on up. And now I'm working balance, even with my back leg down. So, again, paying attention to the body, noticing where you're shifting weight, noticing where you're creating tension. This is important, because the more you practice this here in your practice, the more you know where to shift weight, what muscles to use to balance. It's going to become a norm. And when you're out there moving around, doing stuff in the yard or anywhere, you're going to know how to shift, what to hold on to, what not. You'll be better balanced. So remember, we want to keep on stretching that hip flexor. The leg that's back is the arm that lifts. Now I know the importance even more of putting weight into that right foot. My core is tight. Maybe I reach over, stretching up into the oblique, up higher in the abdomen. Breathe. And release. Settle the hands down back to your lunge. Lift in place. Don't swing. Lift in place your left foot to your right. Uttanasana. Forward fold. Your slow reverse swan dive lifts you up. And your hands marry at heart center. What do you hear? Are you a good listener? When you listen to someone, do you listen to learn, to appreciate, to understand them? Or do you listen, or maybe not listen? Are you listening? Maybe you're watching them, thinking about how you're going to respond. Start practicing truly paying attention to the person you're listening to. Don't worry about how you're going to respond. Listen to learn. Another sun salutation. Arms turn skyward. Swan dive down. Uttanasana. Forward fold. Bring your hands to your shins. Ardha Uttanasana. Pressing your hands back down. Take the left knee this time into the chest. Extend the left leg behind you. Go ahead, once again, set the back leg down. Hands come up, and I push from the foot. Now we're moving into eagle arms. Eagle arms has a great modification. So if you start to move into this and your body doesn't like it, just hug onto your body. Hugs are great anyway, so you're giving yourself a good hug, but it's a good modification that still helps you stretch the back and the shoulders. Otherwise, I want you to come to goalpost arms. Now, all the while, you're balancing. You've got that back leg down, but you're still having to balance. So you're putting weight into that front foot. You're squeezing through the left gluteus. Your core is tight. But your arms are at goalposts. So level your elbow with your shoulder. And take your right arm underneath your left. Back of the hand to back of the hand. If you can, keep wrapping palm to palm. Now, immediately, you should have felt the stretch across your shoulder blades. Your thumbs are about at your third eye. Eagle arms. Remember, if this is too much, I modify with a hug. Now I can challenge here by hovering. So I would come down, tighten my core, and hover, pressing my chest towards the floor, pushing into that right foot, relaxing through my head and neck. And eagle arms hover. Release. To your lunge. Marry your right foot to your left. Your downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Flow forward. Plank. Lift. King Cobra. Draw back to your plank. Chaturanga towards the floor. Slow or quick. Lift. King Cobra. Ease back. Baby Cobra. Push back. Plank. And lift into your down dog. Nice. Now it's the left leg. Remember, we end with the leg we started with. So the left leg climbs. It draws in and it steps forward. Lift and place. Set the back leg down. So again, get double benefit. I want to stretch that hip flexor on the right, but I want to create tension, build muscle on the left. Come on up. Notice the need to shift weight. Pay attention to tension, to balance. Bring your hands either into goal post to move into eagle arms or hug the body. So now it's the, if I remember correctly, now it's the left under the right, whatever the opposite was we did before. Back of the arm to back of the arm, or keep wrapping. Eagle arms. A great stretch across the shoulder blades. So notice where you're having to create tension to balance here. So being still takes a lot of strength, a lot of balance, a lot of focus. It's like being on a bicycle. As long as you're pumping the wheel, the pedals, it's much easier than if you just stayed still with your feet still on the pedal. Same concept. So I'm having to be still and balance. Maybe I hover. I'm drawing the navel in. The more I bring the chest towards the floor, I'm putting more weight into that left foot. My head and neck is relaxed. Breathe. And release. To your lunge, stepping forward, not a swing, a step. Lift and place. Uttanasana. Forward fold. Your slow reverse swan dive. Hands to heart center. What do you hear? What are you hearing when you listen inside? You're listening to thoughts, listening to feelings, becoming aware, being present, being mindful. Okay. So I want you to lift through your knee. Now remember, if you need to keep the toes to the floor, that's perfectly fine. If you need to hold on to the wall at home or a chair, that's fine as well. If you're on an uneven surface at home, you might want to move to a harder surface. Something that's kind of spongy, whether it's a mat or a carpet, it's going to be a lot harder to balance on, so just be aware. I lift my knee up. If I can, I want to make it parallel to the floor, flexing through the foot. And just like a door, I want to open up that hip. The rest of the body stay just as it is. And then I glide the foot in front. That piriformis stretch. Nice. Come to your 5-pointed star. Remember, you're not leaning to any one side or the other. Your crown of the head is skyward. You're lifting as much as you can with the left leg, but of course never causing pain or strain. And then I come forward, if I can. Leg behind me, arms in front. Too close to the wall here. So arms are either in front or behind you in your warrior 3 pose. Now, a few moments ago, we tried our half moon. I didn't bring you to half moon on the right side. I didn't give you a chance, so I'm going to give it to you here. Your right hand up and out, if you choose. Your left arm up, your left leg parallel to the floor. And then, last but not least, of course, the trickiest part, bringing your gaze to your arm that's skyward. So half moon, it is a challenging posture, but such a wonderful one. And it's kind of like thread the needle. Once you've done it and you come to that spot where you can balance, and it's a little easier to go into it again. But remember, it's the journey. It's not the destination. We're not trying to be perfect here. All right, come on up. Should feel that in that right leg. Same thing on the opposite side now. Now I'm shifting to the left. And remember, when we balance, we don't lean, we shift. So much of yoga is like life. you know? We have these little shifts in life, and we have to learn to adapt. And we have to learn to adapt quickly and safely. So it's the same thing you did just now. You know, you created stress. Stress is not a bad thing. It's how we respond to stress. So just now, when you lifted your right foot up, you created stress, but this is a good thing. This stress on the left leg is going to strengthen it. It's going to make it stronger. Then I lift my knee. Now I'm using my core. And I know that when I lift my knee, I tilt through the pelvic area, I draw that navel back to the spine. Then I want to open that hip. Doesn't matter how far, but open it just like a door. Bring it out. You just set it to the floor, do it. And then glide it over the opposite leg into your piriformis stretch. Anytime you make the number 4 with your legs, you're helping to stretch that piriformis, lift it up off that sciatic nerve. So important. So good for people who suffer from sciatic nerve pain. Now I'm going to come out into my 5-pointed star. Now my toes can stay on the floor or I can lift them up, but I want to keep the crown of the head skyward. And then of course transition into Warrior 3, whether your arms come forward or back. Virabhadrasana 3. My core is tight. My head and neck relaxed. I'm strengthening the left leg. And we had already done that half moon on the opposite side, so I won't make you come there again unless you choose. Come on back up. Nice job. Practice balance every day, please. The more you do that, the stronger you'll be, the more it becomes a norm with the brain, and the less likely you'll be to injure. Believe it or not, it's time to wind this practice down. We bring the arms skyward. We swan dive down. Uttanasana, forward fold. Bring your hands to your shins, Ardha Uttanasana. Press the hands back down. Forward fold. Set one knee down and the other. Release the legs out from underneath you. And I want you to bring the feet forward. They're hip width apart. Put your hands underneath your shoulders. And then put weight into the hands. Remember, if this bothers your wrist, you can always make a fist, but put weight into your hands. Lift the buttocks up off the mat. We did this the other night in one of the classes that I streamed, and I still feel it in the back of my arm, so hopefully, in a good way, hopefully you were a little bit sore in your triceps because it should be a good sore. Remember, you're not causing pain, but when you feel that good sore, you know you've worked those muscles, and the triceps are something that we don't really work in our activities of daily living. So good thing to work them. So by lifting the buttocks off the mat here, I've created tension in my arms, which I want to build strength. And then as I push into my feet and I lift the buttocks up, I start to feel that stretch in the tricep and the bicep. I'm drawing the navel to the spine. I'm squeezing through the gluteus. Maybe my head drops back, maybe not. Now I want to ease back down. And if I can, I want to hover. If you need to set the buttocks on the floor, do it. If you want to challenge, bend through your elbows, keeping your hands directly under your shoulders. Now let's pull it all together. Push and lift. Stretch. Lower and hover. Contract. So you see, you're working the core as much as the arms and the gluteus. Squeeze the gluteus tight. And then contract. Tighten the core. Should be feeling this in the back of your arms. Again, lift, stretch, lower, contract. Once again, lift, stretch, and lower. Nice. I want you to ease the upper body down to the mat, draw the knees into the chest, give them a hug. Hopefully this won't be your last hug today. Maybe a little rocking back and forth here to give the mat back a little massage from the mat. And then I want to bring my arms out into T position. And I can either leave the knees bent, one on top of the other, or I can challenge if it feels good and cross the right leg over the left, just like you're crossing your legs as you're sitting. And then ease those legs over to the left. Now I'm going to start to feel that stretch in my right arm. And I can let it stay rested on the floor, or I can hover it, lift it up, and turn the palm to the ceiling. So you start to notice the small, subtle changes, but the big way it makes you feel differently, using different muscles, working against body weight, strengthening. Nice. Now, when you lift the knees back up, I want you to tighten through the core. You don't want to use your back. You don't want to strain your back muscles, so tighten through your core to lift them up. Either allow one knee on top of the other or cross one leg over. Allow it to just flow to the right now and your gaze to the left. Again, I'm either lengthening through the arm or I lift it up and turn the palm, stretching the arm out. Such a great stretch from the shoulder out. Breathe. Nice. Same thing. Use your core to lift the knees up, draw them back in. Bring the legs skyward into up the wall pose. An inversion, a very mild inversion. Most people can do this. This is a great one to do before you go to bed. So I want you to keep your gaze skyward, even though you're in this mild inversion. Anytime you do inversions, always protect the cervical spine. So never look from side to side. Keep your gaze skyward. This is an excellent one to do before you go to bed. You can bring your legs right up against the wall, or you can have them up against the bed. Feet are flexed. You're allowing that blood flow to come down and saturate the brain. You can actually take a rolled towel or your arm and bring it underneath the back for comfort. But this is such a great one to do. Like I said, usually most people can do this. Now, should you want to move into inversions further, if you're not used to inversions, if you've never done them, you might want to sit up and watch for the first time. But if you want to try them, just make sure you keep your gaze to the ceiling. Listen to me, don't watch. Bring your arms to the floor alongside the body. Your palms are facing the floor. And I'm using my core. I make it nice and tight as I lift my hips and my legs come over my head. And maybe my toes touch behind my head. Maybe they do not. Doesn't matter. Draw your navel back to your spine. This is your plow pose. To move further, you're bringing the fingertips up to the lower part of the back. And like a tripod, those hands become a place for the pelvic bones to sit. And you're raising your legs skyward. This is Sarvandasana, shoulder sing. So you're literally standing on your shoulder blades. And you can do whatever you want from your waist down. You can bend through your knees, crisscross through your legs. You can work your core a bit, scissoring the legs. Just do not move anything from the shoulder up. Do not look from side to side. If you ever have to sneeze here or cough, come out of the posture if you can very quickly before you do it. All right, ease back down, plow pose, and then slowly come back up the wall. Now I can challenge here by really tightening through my core and slowly lowering my legs. If I notice too much strain on my core or back, I can bend through my knees and set my feet down. So it's whatever you wish to bring those legs down. Bring the arms up above the head, legs out in front of you. Your full body stretch here should feel good. Your lower back is going to lift up off the floor, and that's okay with your arms above your head. But otherwise, when you're on the floor, you really want to push that lower back to protect that lumbar spine. So I'm going to bring the left arm out to the left, raise the left leg, and reach for it with my right arm. This is a great stretch of not only the leg, but the shoulder. If you can't reach the foot, no worries. Grab onto the back of your leg. Remember, this is not a perfect practice. We don't need to be perfect. But we need to be us. And we need to find a place where we can be us. You know, what a great thing to have this practice so we can come to a place. We can come to our mat and just be who we are and do what we can do and be okay with that. No judgment, no competition. Nice. Release through that leg, raise the right, reach with the left. Such a great stretch with the leg and the shoulder, pressing the lower back into the mat. Breathe. Nice. Now, let go. And let one leg flow out in front of you and then the other. Find Shavasana, Yoga Nidra. Allow yourself to relax. In yoga, we call this corpse pose. It's a place where the body can just fall into the position that it feels best in. So allow yourself to do that. Allow your body to find rest. And your mind and your heart as well. Giving them a chance just to be still. To be still so that you can listen. So that you can learn. So that you can appreciate. Take your next deep breath in. And feel the body lift and fill with life. And then let go of that breath. Feel yourself let go of the things you don't need, the things you're harboring that are keeping you away from living. So you take in another deep breath. Think about all the things you heard as you practice today and you listen to your body, and you listen to your thoughts and your feelings. And then release that breath. And think about how much lighter, how much freer, how much more at peace you feel now that you were able to let go and relinquish those things that have been weighing on you. Start to bring movement back in the body. Wiggle, turn, bend, lift. And then when you're ready, rotate onto one side or the other. Take a deep breath in, and as you breathe out, push with the opposite arm and come to that seated position where we always start. A seated position, the same mat, the same place you were in, but you're not the same. You're a new creation. You're renewed. You're more resilient. You're rejuvenated, rebooted. Now you can go out and seize the day. Listening. Remember. Be slow to speak, slow to anger, quick to listen. We bring our hands to heart center and we state that salutation, namaste. It simply means the light and life in me honors and respects the light and life in you. Namaste. Thank you so much for being with me today. I know it was kind of impromptu, but I'm so glad that you came. I want to tell all of you, but also especially my NASA buddies, whether you're civil servant or contractors, you know we have an employee assistance program. For many of you watching who don't work for NASA, it's very possible that your company has one as well. Just want to always remind everyone it's not a bad thing to have to talk to someone. So if you need to do that, that is not a weakness. That's actually a strength. You've listened to your body and your mind, and you know maybe you need to speak out to someone who can listen and who can help. Here at NASA, we have an employee assistance program with a 1-800 number, 1-800-950-3434. It's a 24/7 number. Please take advantage of that if you need it. And for those of you out there who don't work for NASA, again, if you need help, call a crisis hotline. Call your company. Find out who your employee assistance program is. These are difficult times that we're going through right now, but we will prevail. We will prevail. We'll come out of this and we'll be stronger. Have a great rest of the day. Namaste.